everyone, it's your girl Asia from the One Rain Swango channel. Welcome back to my channel. Can we all admit something right here, right now, when it comes to Degrassi's writing team? Can we talk about how bad Degrassi was when it came to writing love triangles and how they try to make it seem like any girl, how they try to make it seem like any girl or guy situation with like a love triangle when it really just gave off no. A love triangle is when all three people are involved. That's why when my sister was like, when you go back and watch season 3 for Degrassi, can you really call the Craig, Manny, and Ashley a love triangle? I mean, don't get me wrong. If you were to ask me now, to some people, the Craig, Ashley, and Manny love triangle might be the most iconic to them. But to me, the most iconic love triangle to me in Degrassi, without a doubt, was the Maya, Miles, and Zig love triangle. I think that is way better than the Manny, Ashley, and Craig love triangle. Unpopular opinion, hot take, whatever you want to call it. I think it's way better because all three people were involved. Where Ashley, if you pay attention, Ashley was barely involved in the love triangle. For it to be a love triangle, all three people need to be involved. Ashley wasn't really involved for it really gave off more like a Manny and Craig storyline, love story, whatever the fuck you want to call it. That's what it came off as, and it's like they didn't throw Ashley in there up until when she found out that Craig was fooling around with Manny. Before that, Ashley was nowhere to be found. Like, nowhere. She was barely involved. And she wasn't really involved, honestly. And the Maya and Miles and Zig one, all three parties were involved. All three of them involved. So you knew it was a love triangle because all of them were involved, for real, for real. Like, they were involved. It felt like a fucking love triangle, not just a love story between two people and the other guy is just there. Where in the Manny, Craig, and Ashley one, it definitely felt like it was just a storyline with Manny and Craig, and Ashley was just the girl that he was with. That's what it felt like. It never felt like that with the Maya, Miles, and Zig's love triangle. It never gave that Maya was just with Miles. No, it very much gave a love triangle, very much gave that they both were competing for Maya. That's what it gave off as, and that's why I feel like when I go back and watch Degrassi, I definitely feel like that love triangle is way better than the Manny, Craig, and Ashley one. I don't care how anybody feels. That, don't get me wrong, the love triangle was still iconic because it was like, I guess you could say like the first one they ever did in the show. But I definitely feel like the Maya, Miles, and Zig one was really done way better as far as like pacing and writing wise. It was way better. And I know a lot of people didn't want it, they didn't ask for it, whatever. You have the guy that's always been in love with Maya, who's coming back to make sure, who is telling her his feelings never went away, who wants to be with her, and you have the guy that she is with now, who is very much in love with Maya and doesn't want to lose her. Therefore, it's causing friction in their relationship as far as it is between Miles and Zig, and Maya and Zig, and Maya and Miles. So it just, I feel like for drama wise, it was just written better. But I feel like when it comes to love triangles that Degrassi really could have written better, they fucking fumbled. There's so many love triangles in the show, I feel like they fumbled. And one of them I'm about to talk about is Degrassi fumbled at not writing a love triangle with Craig, Ellie, and Manny. Like, it was literally right there. Hell, if you didn't want to do a love triangle, you could have did a quick storyline with Craig and Ellie, because I was literally watching season 5 and I'm really trying to wrap my head around why the fuck they put Craig and Manny back together. That was really unnecessary. They did not need to date. If you asked me what I would have done, because I was watching it, I feel like what they should have done was easily. They should have done this. Ellie told Marco that she likes Craig, right? Okay, boom. Ellie told Marco she liked Craig. So to me, it felt like when Ellie told Marco she liked Craig, it gave off that Marco was trying to do everything in his power to make sure they have alone time, to where Ellie could tell Craig how she feels. I feel like when I watched season 5, there was like times where I feel like Ellie would like drop hints that she liked Craig, and it would feel like he would try to ignore it or look past it. So to me, him going back to Manny very much gave us like a safe option, because him and Manny never had any chemistry, and because of them not having chemistry, there really isn't much you can do with them as far as relationship wise. So I feel like, to me, what I would have done is this: that when Craig got signed to the music deal, I would have done something where the guy, told Craig this is how much money it is, boom, bada bang, he could travel around the world, boom, boom, boom. And Craig takes the deal by being a solo artist, not with his band. I would have Craig take the money, and I would do something where Craig is with the band and he's about to drop the beans, but the dude was like, oh, Craig is signing a solo deal because I told him his musical talent is being hidden by being in the band because the band don't fit with Craig's voice, right? I would have Jimmy and Marco be pissed at Craig for not saying anything sooner. I would have Ellie be the only one who understands, not because she want to be a pick-me, because Ellie doesn't want to do music, she wants to be a journalist, okay? She only joined the band to help them with their sound because Spinner was no longer in the band due to the sneaky shit he did to Jimmy. I would make Ellie, like she did in the scene, tell Craig to go travel the world, go do your music, go put it out there, because this is only once in a lifetime opportunity. You will never get the chance to do this shit again. You will never get the chance to actually put your music out there, your talent. And in that scene, I would have Ellie tell Craig how she feels. You feel me? And I wouldn't have him respond, because I would make Ellie say, don't respond now. Let's see where things can go once you come back from tour. And, the hug that they gave each other, Craig looking at her. If I feel like in season 5, there was a lot of times in the season where Craig would look at Ellie with this face of confusion. Like, he has feelings for Ellie, but he doesn't want to ruin their friendship, because for the longest time, Ellie is probably the only girl he ever was friends with without it having to be, anything sexual or as far as a relationship, which I feel like they should have did with Craig and Manny. Craig and Manny couldn't have just been friends. They had to date. So anyway, once we enter season 6, I would have done something where Ellie thought when Craig was coming back that they were going to talk about what happened, but she see that him and Manny didn't reconcile things in their dating, which makes the situation more awkward, because it makes her feel like her feelings aren't valid. Like, did he not feel the same? Is that why he's dating Manny? Then, as we know, in season 6, Craig was doing cocaine, which makes him and Manny break up due to him not being able to function without being on the drugs. And he tells Ellie that he loves her only so she give him back his coke. And in the airport, again, he tells Ellie that he's always loved her. It just was never a good time for him to tell her how he feels. And again, she doesn't believe Craig because he just lied and said that he loved her just to get drugs. So how is she supposed to believe him this time if he's telling the truth, right? I would have written it like that because you would know that it's very much a love story with Craig and Ellie. A whole will they, won't they, and Manny is just there. But if you were going to do something where you put Craig and Manny back together in season 5, why not just write a love triangle? Instead, why are you trying to write Ellie off as this pick-me? They didn't have to do that. Ellie did not need to be a pick-me at all. And I hate that they did that with her character because I feel like Ellie being a pick-me, it don't necessarily fit her. It doesn't. And I said that the only reason why I can't necessarily hate her for coming off like pick-me-ish is because the last guy that she was with literally left her in an apartment all by herself to pay for everything. So with Ellie, her being a pick-me for Craig might be like, oh, I'm here, don't leave me, things like that. Like, I don't know how to really explain it other than Ellie really didn't need to be a pick-me. Like, it's like, there's nothing I can really come up with on why they made that her entire character, or why they made that her entire character once we found out that she had feelings for Craig. And they didn't have to do that. Like, Craig and Ellie really should have been in game. They should have dated. This should have never been like, oh, they never dated. Like, the fact that in season 8, we only got to see a kiss with them in the airport, which shows so much chemistry between them, shows the love between them, and they never went endgame. That's crazy. Like, I feel like, I have this feeling that somewhere down the road, Craig and Ellie do meet up with each other again, and they eventually do get married. Because that's the way it should have been. Craig should not have been with nobody else but with Ellie. Like, they had so much chemistry, and it sucked that they were not endgame. And it sucks that there was always something in their way for them not to be together. Like, they never got their chance to be together. That's fucked up. Like, Craig really did not need to be with Manny. He did not need to be with her. The relationship was useless. It did nothing for me as a fan because I never wanted them to date again after everything that happened in season 3. They should have just kept it as a fling and just kept moving and kept going. In season 5, once they did the whole, oh, Ellie got feelings for Craig, I was already fucking with it because I feel like Craig and Ellie, they make so much sense than any other girl he's ever been with. And one of the main things I really do not like when it comes to the Craig and Ellie thing is that people like to make it seem like, oh, they only connect due to trauma, when it's like, no, it was actually a mutual friendship between them. Like, Ellie was actually there for Craig during his darkest days, and he was there for her during her darkest days. Them being in group and being able to express how it feels to have a friend to talk to about certain things that you probably can't talk to other people about is what made the feelings grow stronger, because you get to be with somebody, you get to talk to someone who understands your situation. Trauma bonding is when the trauma you and this person both experience, whether it's the same thing or it was different, is the only thing that y'all can connect with, which is the darkness. Y'all don't really connect with anything else other than the trauma that y'all have experienced that is either similar or completely different. That's trauma bonding. Ellie and Craig's trauma is not the same at all. Ellie wasn't abused. Ellie doesn't have bipolar. Ellie self-harmed, but she wasn't abused. Craig was abused. Craig lost his mom. Craig has bipolar disorder. Their trauma is completely different. It's not the same at all. At all. So that in of itself don't even make sense. It's a retarded take. It's stupid. And I feel like Degrassi fumbled at doing a Craig and Ellie and Manny love triangle because it really was just right there. It was right there. Like, the second that they did, like, they tried to do a little showdown with Ellie and Manny when they was at the wedding and stuff like that, that should have indicated for them to do a love triangle. Like, the second it started saying that Craig and Manny were, like, getting closer again, they should have written a love triangle, even though people would be like, oh, we didn't really need that, da, 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 da. It would have made sense in the situation. But let's be honest, Degrassi has fumbled a lot of love triangles that they should have been focusing on, that they didn't do, or they try to scramble what they can scramble in the last minute, and I don't like it. Like, this was a love triangle they fumbled with Craig, Ellie and Manny, a love triangle they fumbled. What's another one they fumbled? They fumbled at not doing a love triangle with Maya, Miles, and Tristan. That love triangle would have fed generations. They failed at doing a love triangle with Drew, Bianca, and Katie. That was another one they could have really written well. But with that love triangle, what pisses me off is that Bianca was really in season 11, and when she does pop up, it don't give off love triangle. It give off a love story between Bianca and Drew, which I'm not mad at, because I'm a very heavy Bianca and Drew shipper. At this point, I was trying to figure out why the fuck was Drew and Katie relationship so long. But as soon as Bianca started showing up around more, it very much gave off that the writers wanted Drew and Bianca back together. So to me, it was giving off, okay, once you put Drew and Katie together, and Bianca started coming back around, why not do a love triangle? Why not show something where Bianca has to fake being okay, being around her ex while he's with this other girl when she knows she's still in love with Drew? Degrassi, yet again, they fumbled that. They fumbled at doing a Sean, Ellie, and Emma love triangle. That's another one that would have ate. Like, there's so many love triangles they fumble at doing. What's another one? There's really one I'm thinking of right now. Damn. Cause Love Triangle was like, what was the last Love Triangle in the show that they did? I guess you could say the Eli, Claire, and Drew one, but to me, I don't look at that as a love triangle. Again, it very much give off it's just a love story with Eli and Claire, and Drew was just there. That's what it give off. And then in next class, I really can't think of any love triangles. Honestly, if it's one love triangle that I felt like two, maybe. Like, they try to make it seem like that the Shay, Lola, and Tiny was a love triangle. I mean, in some way it was, and then in some way it wasn't. I'll tell you why it was in some ways. In some ways it was because we knew that both Shay and Lola liked Tiny, but Tiny only liked Shay. He never really liked Lola. And again, that love triangle doesn't work because Shay is a boring character, Tiny is a boring character, and Lola is a boring character. They all don't have nothing to them for you to care about the love triangle, or why Tiny should be with her and not with her, or why he should be with her and not with her. It don't tell you anything for real about any three characters. So again, that love triangle fails because Degrassi failed to give any character. It failed at giving any character development to Shay, Tiny, or Lola. And I do want to talk about Frankie, on how I feel like the writers really fumbled Frankie's character, honestly, because there's so much about Frankie that I want to talk about. Like, I love Frankie and Degrassi, but I do feel like she was fumbled, and I want to talk about her. And I think before I do, I need to go back and watch like her character journey in the show from Next Generation to Next Class, because Frankie is a character I do love, but they fumbled her a lot. Like in Next Generation, I don't really remember her doing anything, especially in season 13. I don't remember her doing shit in season 13 other than being Zoe's friend. She was just like the freshman in the background. She didn't do shit until she had her whole relationship with Winston. And then in season 14, she had the whole Degrassi news storyline. And then Next Class, she had the whole thing with Jonah. It's just a lot. I have a lot I want to talk about with Frankie, and I think I'm going to look at her character's journey, watch her character journey, see what they did that I like, see what they didn't do, things of that nature, and talk about it. So, yeah, Frankie is a character I'm going to talk about next. I'm surprised I haven't talked about her because I actually do fuck with Frankie, but I know for a fact they filmed with her character, and when I definitely do watch the show, especially in Next Class, they filmed with her character really, really bad. If you ask me, they should just put her and Winston back together. Frankie and Winston should have been in game. I feel like the Next Class, they would have worked more, because the Next Generation, it definitely came up like immaturity and things like that, childishness. They would have worked way more in Next Class, in my opinion. But I feel like in Next Class, love triangles they could have done, to be honest, and Miles, Lola, and Tristan love triangle would have been really good if Tristan was not in a coma. Like, I keep thinking about, what if Tristan wasn't in a coma and Miles and Lola got closer or whatnot? Like, that would have been actually really, really great for real, because it's like a guy and a girl, something different. You feel me? That love triangle actually would have been really good as fuck for me. I'm trying to think if there's anything else, but I can't really think of any. I just know for a fact when I watched Degrassi, there is definitely a lot of love triangles they fumbled. Some they could have definitely done more with, and I don't know why they try to make it seem like every relationship they do in the show is a love triangle. Like, no, it's not. It's not. So, yes, I feel like Degrassi fumbled at doing a Manny, Ellie, and Craig love triangle, because honestly, it was really right there. Everything they needed was right there. They just didn't do it. Honestly, they had other materials to do it in season 5, Tales to do it in season 6. They didn't do it. Degrassi, for both generations. It's not just the old generation or the new generation. For both generations, for Manny and Emma's generation to from the Claire and Eli generation, I'm gonna say this: for the Manny and Emma generation and Claire and Ellie generation, there are a lot of missed opportunities. There were a lot of storylines, a lot of character development they could have done for certain characters that they fumbled. And I think it's because they went the wrestling route. We're going to take our top guys or our top characters, throw them in a hat, and shuffle them up, and these are going to be the characters we focus on. The other characters are not going to get shit. And that sucks, because there are a lot of characters in both generations who really fumbled at not getting so much to where you don't care for them. Like, they will do something where they give you something from this. They'll do something where it show you a little bit of something from this one character. Like, this character probably get one little storyline, and that storyline might be so good that you don't see them get another storyline again. Like Toby. Toby is a perfect example. Toby only had one good storyline in the show, and that was when he wanted to get on the wrestling team and he wasn't eating. That storyline was so good, it made me feel like, why the fuck didn't Toby get other storylines? He didn't get nothing else after that. Nothing. Toby was a character that they fumbled. They didn't do anything with Toby after that. And then in the new generation, if I had to pick a character who I feel like they fumbled and didn't do anything with that I wish they would have, Adam. Adam was a character that they showed those part 1 and part 2 episodes of season 10, to where in season 11 his character didn't do anything. The only storyline I could think of that Adam had in season 11 was that one storyline where he was trying to get with Katie, but she didn't want to be with him because he was trans. And then in season 12, he really didn't do anything up until his relationship with Becky. So again, his character being fumbled, and then season 13 they had the nerve to kill him off. Are you kidding me? So yeah, when it came to Degrassi, there are a lot of missed opportunities as far as storylines, characters, relationships, all around. It's just a lot. But as always, it is nice talking to y'all, and catch you on my next video.